is James at Class A Performance, and today is Muscle Monday. Today we're going to be talking about the LS engine, and we're going to do a whole series on the LS engine. So you definitely want to stay tuned and tune in this year because we have a lot of stuff. So let's talk about the LS engine. Well, there's the LS engine. It's a engine. This right here is a LQ9, which is a 6.0 block. It takes a lot of horsepower. Excuse me, it could take a lot of horsepower, up to 1,000 horsepower. You don't need an aftermarket block. You can run bigger heads, bigger cam. Has a 55 millimeter cam core, so you can run the bigger cam. The heads, you can run an 18-degree heads, and some you can go all the way to a 12-degree head. I mean, they even have some that's it's a 10-degree head you can put on here. For the most part, you're going to have a really killer piece on the street. And then we have the Small Block Chevy. This thing been around for years. This is where this engine right here, I first learned how to build an engine was a Small Block Chevy. And, you know, to this day, I still love it. It still has a place in my heart, okay? But this is my new place in my heart, is this LS engine, okay? But it still has a place in my heart. Even though the Small Block Chevy is lighter, but this thing only could take so much horsepower. This LS engine, or LQ9, whatever you want to call it, 6.0 block, it can take 1,000 horsepower. So that means you don't have to go and buy you, if you want to put a lot of horsepower, you have to go and buy you a dart block no more. You don't have to buy your aftermarket block, whereas this thing already comes from the factory, can handle 1,000 some horsepower. That is a plus. You'll save a lot of money in doing that. Yes, they are heavier. But then also you have the 23-degree head, and on this engine, right? On this engine, we have on this engine, you could put a 18-degree head, and we're going to also talk about, get more in details on the heads in the series about comparing those two. So I mean, right off the bat, you got those, but the main thing is the cam core. You got a bigger cam core on this one. We can't really see this cam core because this one is a 383 already put together. The cam is 10 times bigger. It's a 55 millimeter cam that goes in here. So, like I said, we'll also get in detail into the cams in this series. But just to compare them, these LS engines, or I should say LS family, they can take a lot of horsepower. A lot, especially the cast iron blocks. For sure, could take a lot of horsepower. This block, I mean, after 560, I say 580, you're kind of pushing at 580. This block, pretty much, you're just buying time. This thing will come unglued, and you have a lot of problems down the line. This block, 580, you know, it'll smile at the 580 horsepower. You know, 600, easy, no problem, you know. So that's our quick analogy and comparison when we're trying to choose from a small block Chevy to an LS. You know, we gotta go LS. So this is James at Class A Performance, Muscle Monday.